John Rando. I'm the director of Back to the Future, the musical. We're here to talk a little bit about the anatomy of the clock tower sequence.
It's such an iconic scene. How are you going to do the clock tower sequence?
This cinematic masterpiece done in a theatrical, three-dimensional way.
Every single element of the design needs to come together. Everything is important in that moment.
I took the sequence from the movie and I literally storyboarded it frame by frame, and I used that as a starting point. And then it became really clear to me that we needed to utilize what the film does brilliantly, which is long shot and close up. It's all the question of picking out and showing the audience what we want them to see. But whilst we're looking at one thing and it's a slight sort of trick of the eye, we're looking at Doc at the top of the tower and he's going off stage left or stage right. We're actually changing the set behind in the dark, and we're moving the car into position ready to jump cut to Marty driving in the car.
We basically had our set on stage on a big plan. We had a little car and we were just driving it around and said, what if the car did this? What if the car did that? We then went into a workshop stage of just workshopping all these crazy ideas that we'd had.
The cable detached. I'll have to go out there and reconnect it myself.
But Doc, you're afraid of heights!
No, Marty, I'm terrified of heights.
We had originally a treadmill staircase that Doc would try to run up the clock tower while the treadmill was going. But then we had the idea that why don't we just cut the stairs and just use the video for it? And that was the kind of the moment of real theatrical genius for us, where we figured out that, oh, this could not only be really cool, but also quite funny.
It's very obvious to say that a car cannot be moving at speed on a stage. So what do? You move everything around it.
I think a lot of that was looking at how to use layers of perspective to create the sense that the midground, which is effectively Marty in the car, is moving by having a foreground and a background behind it. Video and lighting have a lot of connection in this scene because it's during a big storm, and video alone can't make the stage feel like lightning has struck.
Lighting provides lots of extra help in terms of little flashes on the car.
So we ended up adding a huge amount of sound effects, from thunder, lightning, rain, screeches of tires, car noise. We couldn't do this with traditional sound design methods. So we're using this completely revolutionary gaming engine to generate all the sound of the cars. When it's facing towards you, you hear more of the engine. When it spins round, you hear more of the exhaust pipes. And I mean, a massive technical thing, and yeah, I believe it's a first.
The clock tower sequence in the show is an absolute riot of music. There is a very interesting little detail about this piece, and it's really about how Alan worked with us. He'd take the rushes from the day's rehearsal and he'd write to the rehearsal room picture. I've never had to be so collaborative with a team in order to create something so heightened as the clock tower sequence is.
Although it looks it, the stage isn't huge. Like, it hasn't got a huge amount of depth. And I've got a car that's traveling at 88 miles an hour upstage, and it's then got to disappear at the end. And there isn't a lot of place for it to disappear, and in reality, my car's got to go somewhere.
So long, Marty!
So the magic for me is people not quite knowing how we do it.
When you can hear them kind of gasp, or you can feel when they're tight and when they're with you, and you can feel them kind of lift at the end as the car vanishes, like that is really rewarding. If you can convince the fans, you can convince anyone.
You can't actually work miracles, but what you can do is make the audience believe in miracles.
Yeah, and we pulled it off.
88 miles per hour.